This week on the podcast, I'm in downtown Los Angeles for 3 days of Lucha Vavoom, the original comedy, burlesque, and lucha libre show. I talk with Dirty Sanchez, the Crazy Chicken, and more. Enjoy it.
This is The Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
All right. How you guys doing? Come on in. Sit down, relax. You're about to listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a life podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway to the minds, the souls, the hearts, and the lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. I am a luchador. I am a comedian. I'm a burlesque dancer in my own little way. Most importantly, though, I am a professional wrestler, and I am coming to you live from my studio apartment in Chicago, Illinois. Before we go any further, this fan-supported and listener-supported podcast is supported by people just like you. I give it to you free of charge every single Thursday on ColtCabana.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts from. A couple great ways that you could support: rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Tell a friend, tweet it out, Facebook it out. The best way that you can support: ColtMerch.com. DigitalColt.com, t-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs, micro brawler variants, the new micro brawlers. A lot of you guys put it in order. I still got more to send out if you want one. That's all available. ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com. Before we get into any of this, because I did head on out to Los Angeles, California, and I did do 3 nights of professional wrestling, or Matt Classic did 3 nights of professional wrestling to celebrate Cinco de Mayo in the very best possible way. Before I even did that, let's not forget to mention I was at not Comiskey Park, not U.S. Cellular Park, Guaranteed Rate, First Rate Ballpark in Chicago, Illinois. I was at the Sox game. I was supposed to do it on a Tuesday. It got rained out. On a Wednesday, I went there at 1:30 in the afternoon, and I threw out the very first pitch. So that's a first for me. That was all done to promote the Ring of Honor show May 12th on Mother's Day in Villa Park. A no bouncer for me and a fun night at the ballpark. And then the next night, I made my way out to LA. I was supposed to do a podcast out there. It got canceled. But luckily for me, friends of friends of friends put me in touch with magician Crow Garrett, who also spent some time at the Santino Brothers Wrestling School in Los Angeles. I don't know if I'm supposed to say he's my hookup, but I'd figure it's nice to give a little shout out. And I, along with my brother and wrestling promoter Dave Marquez, we went to the Magic Castle. You have to wear a suit and tie and nice shoes. Then the magicians do magic for you in your face. And it was a lot of fun. But that was all just a teaser, a lead up into what was a very, very fun weekend. 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all at the Mayan Theater, the beautiful Mayan Theater, home of regulatory salsa dancing and club nights. But about 8 times a year, maybe 10 times a year, Lucha Vavoom enters. I'm going to go a little bit out of order. I did this talk last, actually, but I thought it was probably fitting to put it first. Liz and Rita are the ones who started this whole thing. And first of all, I think that's amazing just in its own. I think it's very empowering. I told Liz that the other night. You'll learn a lot about Lucha Vavoom, hopefully throughout this whole podcast. But it was the vision of 2 strong, independent women. They put it together. They've ran the ship for so long. So let's hear from Rita D'Albert as she kind of tells you how it all came together and what to expect, or what you should have expected had you come the 3 nights of Lucha Vavoom. Okay, so I've talked to wrestlers, I've talked to minis, I've talked to luchadors, but I haven't talked to the burlesque performers or the promoters, and you're both of them.
Yeah, that's me.
So you got to give us the gist of, tell us all about the birth of Vavoom and everything and how great it is.
We started because Liz was dating a wrestler and he needed a visa and there was no lucha shows in LA. So we just made one so she could see her boyfriend more often. And then I was producing a burlesque show and a musical. So I was working with all these comedians and all these dancers, and we just put it together.
Well, where do the comedians come in burlesque and musical?
Well, because I wanted to be like Mystery Science Theater. I wanted commentary. But when I was thinking about it, I thought, well, commentary is kind of boring. It should be fun.
Right.
And I love Mystery Science Theater 3000. I was working with Blaine Capatch and Patton Oswalt And then Fred Armisen wound up doing the very first one. And then I called him like, that show was so great, we're going to do it again. And he said, I'm in New York taping a show. He didn't say I just joined the cast of Saturday Night Live.
A show.
Yeah, I said I was taping a comedy special.
Yeah.
So I got Patton Oswalt. And so that's where like the whole hybrid came together. It's from the burlesque show and the comedy I was doing.
Was it at the Mayan, the first one?
Yes,
So this has been your home forever.
since the beginning.
And I don't know, did you vision 2019 you would still be doing this?
I envisioned 2019 I'd be Vince McMahon or something. I'd be a millionaire, not talking to you guys.
Oh no. How long have you been performing?
Well, you don't want to say.
Oh,
I used to be in bands before I was dancing. I was
okay.
in the band called the Pandoras.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you get paid for that app that they took from you?
No, boo. And that's another lawsuit. No, so I did that, and so like I kind of took all that band stuff, because bands used to be dangerous. And I realized like luchadors are the new rock stars.
Fuck yeah, I like
Way
that.
more dangerous. It's like they gave me that energy that rock shows used to give me, and it wasn't when we started. And then Liz was working with Guar. So like we had this kind of knowledge of like that dangerous edge that people really need in entertainment. And they still need it more than ever.
Yeah.
So we're here for you.
This is amazing. What did you think of this specific weekend?
This one was like the best one ever. I always push it, and we do new things. So I brought in La Butcherettes, the band. We had Scott Colton sitting on the mic, which is nice. Or Colt Cabana.
Thank you.
Say. And like we did 3 nights instead of 2, and people went bananas. Crowd totally got everything we did. So I think we're just going to expand worldwide now.
We must. We must.
The world needs us.
I believe it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
This was great.
Mwah.
That was just like a sound out kiss. Wasn't a real kiss. And that was the conclusion. And that was downstairs in this giant room where it feels like a Hollywood party. It kind of was a Hollywood party. There's just so many people, friends of dancers, friends of wrestlers, friends of mariachi players, people, scenesters, I think you might even call them. And that was the conclusion of the whole weekend. But let's start us off on the right foot. Like I said to Rita, I had talked to everybody else except the burlesque and the owners. So we have some minis to talk to, some comedians, and of course, luchadors, one of the homegrown talents of Lucha Vavoom. And this was kind of the hard part because everybody kind of has a different character. So there's the wrestler and the character. But the Lucha Vavoom fans, they don't know who Colt Cabana is or Zoe Cray or Scorpio Sky. They just know the Lucha Vavoom characters. So I don't know how to do it or where to dance or whatever, but we figure it out somehow. And we'll start it off with Angel or with Dirty Sanchez. You choose.
But are you allowed to acknowledge that you're Angel doing Dirty?
People know, yeah.
Do they know?
Yeah, they know.
Okay, so tell me where we are right now.
We're at downtown LA at the Mayan Theater.
But right now, as we sit here,
Oh, we're at Lucha Vavoom.
but we're in this.
Oh, dressing room. Sorry, I've had too many concussions.
That was like a bad '70s game show.
Right? Yeah.
And yeah, so the weekend for me is these 3 shows. You're only doing 2 of them though.
Yeah, today and tomorrow.
And so I guess a lot of people would know you from XPW.
Yeah, XPW. Well, I guess it's not politically correct to say what I'm used to be called back then. But I used to be called Angel, and you can probably look it up on what I used to be before.
But like a lot of, I guess us, can we put me into this group of guys who've been doing Vavoom? You've been doing it way much longer than me.
yeah.
But we've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of a group of guys who molded into these weird gimmicks.
It was the perfect blend of just like, let's try, it's like, cooking. Let's try this spice, let's try this spice. And at first it was a little bland. We weren't sure what we were doing. And then finally, years and years just doing this, it's worked out. I mean, I know you came in a little bit towards the middle.
Right.
But in the beginning, I mean, it was still fun. It was fun, but this crowd, we've trained this crowd. We've trained this crowd. I mean, they know how crazy it is. They know what we do. They're expecting all the things, all the spots we always do. Our signature moves and everything like that. And I love this crowd. I mean, they enjoy everything we do.
I'd ask you a question, but I know the answer. So like, they're not like a typical wrestling crowd.
No, this is not I mean, God, there's been A-list celebrities here front row, marking out on some stuff. I mean, this is just a show that, I mean, we're in downtown LA. You're pretty much getting hipsters, people that pop for simple things like, you know, a headlock takeover. These people, I mean, they do not watch wrestling. You probably go in there, you're like, you know, naming two famous wrestlers, and they're going to be like, oh, I don't know.
Right, but they all leave going, that was the greatest show ever.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So why can we convert those people to actual wrestling fans, or are they just Vavoom fans?
You know what helps them here, though, is they're drunk.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're out there. I mean, how many times have we slipped on liquor out there? I mean, these people are drunk. I think that does help us out because we have done shows here when we've done it for crowds that weren't so a little bit tipsy.
Different Vavoom shows, or different than Vavoom?
Just private shows, but it's still in this venue, same show we do. We prefer a drunk crowd. Yeah. The drunk crowd, I mean, they're not sure if they don't know if they're seeing the real thing or it's just a little bit of them getting too much alcohol in them.
Yeah. And then describe your character.
Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah. Give us what are the hits that you usually give them?
First of all, I'm not an in shape wrestler anymore. I mean, I stopped working out at the gym. Hell, I never think I've ever been to the gym. I got this beer belly here, even though I don't drink. But
you and I both.
That's what I have a 40-year-old body looks like, right? I got a merkin on. Anybody want to Google what a merkin is? I mean, I didn't even know what it was until I started doing this character. And I shit myself for a living.
Every match, he shits himself.
I shit myself for a living.
How was the throw today? Usually he'll throw his shit bag into the crowd.
Oh, yeah. My goal is to one to make somebody puke, and I mean, come on, you just heard one of the guys who wrestled today. He says he's almost puked in the match because it's so gross. I mean, it's a gimmick shit, you know, but it's what it is. I mean, first time I ever tried it, I was like, is this gonna work here? And I'm thinking to myself, this is Lucha Vavoom. If anything, this is the only crowd it might work for. I mean, I think if I was in another type of show where there are more educated fans, they'd probably shit all over it because they're like, oh, this is not wrestling. They're making fun of wrestling.
Pun intended or not intended?
Yeah, pun out. But it works for this crowd. I mean, first time I tried, I was a little hesitant. I was like, is this going to work? First time I did it, the crowd was going crazy. And people, I mean, they say they come back time and time again. They're like, oh, man, I've been hit 3 times in the face by your
catching a foul ball at a baseball game.
Yeah, it's like, as the comedians say, it's like going to a Gallagher concert, you know? You never know what you're going to get.
Shit, you're going to get shit. At least Gallagher, you get watermelon, which would be delicious, but you get shit. Angel wrestled as Angel, the hardcore homosexual, and he was part of a product that was happening at the time in Los Angeles as this was coming into fruition, the kind of those early 2000s. So he might be the only one that's kind of stuck around from that XPW crew here on Lucha Vavoom, and he is great. We wrestled together, fun to wrestle with, a sweetheart of a man, and he's one of the important characters in Lucha Vavoom. And another aspect of the wrestling at Vavoom that is so important that people just love are the minis. And one of the minis that I wrestled, his name was Piñatita. Piñatita. I couldn't say it all weekend. There's like too many nas in banana with Piñanita. You see, you get it already. So do we reveal who he is? Yeah, I'll reveal. It's Octagoncito, one of the greatest mini luchadors of all time. I had to choose. There was 2 minis. There was Octagoncito and Tsuki, who is my mini. Tsuki speaks 0 English. So you're going to get Octagoncito, and we're going to try to squeeze some English out of him. But I did want you to hear him because he's adorable and an amazing wrestler, but most importantly, adorable.
Yes, a little speak English.
I know. How you learn English?
Listen, yeah.
To English promoter, American promoter.
Yes, American promoter and partner.
Wrestling partner.
Friend, yeah, partner, it's a friend.
How many years Lucha Vavoom?
How many years? Wow. 15
years.
15 years.
So many of the years you have been in this building so many times.
The first show, the Lucha Vavoom, me.
How many years wrestling?
28.
28 years.
28 years.
And you told me yesterday you start at 18.
18, oh.
Right? You're
18 and 18.
18, first primera.
First match,
16.
Mi first match, me 16.
16. And did you train with Minnie?
Yeah, you train 8 years. 7. My dad is Western. The gym. My dad is me.
Is your dad? Your dad's not octagon.
No. My octagon is Western big. Me,
Octagoncito.
octagoncito. My dad is he live in Villahermosa, Tabasco, Mexico. He is my teacher, the Western.
Are you gonna wrestle forever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No retirement.
No.
Always.
Always. Yeah.
And then, so besides Lucha Vavoom, also extreme midget wrestling?
Right now, Extreme Million Wrestling, and last time, and CMLL,
CMLL.
yes, and AAA, WWF, WWE, WCW,
Everywhere.
in New Japan.
Yeah.
New Japan.
But now you travel with extreme.
Now, yes, I am working on the Extreme Media Wrestling.
Yeah. And they're traveling all over.
Yeah.
You are busy.
Always travel, working.
And then, why do you like Lucha Vavoom?
What you like?
Cuando te gusta?
I like it very, very much.
Or why? Why? ¿Qué es why?
Why? Why is por qué?
¿Por qué te gusta Lucha Vavoom?
It's different, so no is Mexican, no is American. It's different. The people is different. The people I like the lucha vavoom. Me too like it lucha vavoom.
And I like you.
I see.
And over the years, there's been a whole crew of minis. And the cool thing is he said he was going to go travel with Extreme M-Word Wrestling. And he showed me his tour schedule, and they're doing like 25 nights a month. I had never even heard of it. I just assumed it was just in Texas because that's where they're living, down in Dallas. But no, they're traveling all over. So search out the Extreme M-Word Wrestling Federation and watch them at a town near you. So what else we got? As you can see, a lot of lucha influence, a lot of Hispanic influence. You know me, I hope I'm saying the right term, the right word. Hispanic, that sounds right. Mexican. I caught a goodie on tape while talking to Little Cholo. Here, I'll let you listen to the surprise, and then I'll tell you who it was after I play this.
¿Cómo está bien? Hey, ¿cómo no? ¿Cómo está bien? Simón.
Cholo,
Yo,
will you habla in this thing for me?
of course I can. I'm doing that right now.
I'm making you stand up.
Okay, I just stood up.
You were just speaking Spanish to a dude.
I was. That's the guy from Narcos.
I knew he looked familiar.
Yes.
Oh, he came in, I just go, hey. He's like, hey. And he started speaking Spanish to everyone, so I just assumed he was like a luchador friend.
No, that's the dude from Narcos.
Oh, okay. Well, that worked out pretty well.
There you go.
I was saying we're speaking Spanish because we're here at Lucha Vavoom.
We are.
Where you've been, how long have you been wrestling here now?
I've been here since show number 1, so 17 years.
You were here show number 1 too.
Yes.
When this started 17 years ago, did you think this was still going to go on 2019?
I thought it would because it's it's a show that's unlike no other. So I think it would definitely gonna stick around.
You thought it.
Because there was nothing else going on like this. Where else can you go and see lucha and titties? So
What a combination.
pretty-
You're very political correct on there.
hey, well, it's what there is. You come to Lucha Vavoom, you see wrestling and titties. What else?
And some comedy.
Yeah, and some comedy.
Yeah. Anything memorable over the years here for you?
Memorable.
Besides matches with my friend Matt Classic?
Oh, Matt Classic is dope. Just the being able to perform in front of the people that are here from Hollywood, like Drew Carey and SpongeBob, Tom Kenny. Those are pretty memorable moments.
Yeah. Like you're just mingling around with them.
Like pretty much like now on a regular basis, like when Drew Carey comes by, he's like, "Hey, Cholo, how are you?" Like, what the like Drew Carey knows who the fuck I am. Like that's pretty dope.
Yeah, me and my buddy Drew.
Yeah, pretty much.
Joaquin Cosio. He looked familiar. I've never seen Narcos. I've been told it's a good show. You know what I have seen though? Cheap Seats on ESPN Classic, Bubble Boy the movie, The Comebacks, Back on Tops, an amazing web series, Held Up, an even better web series. These are all shows that starred Jason and Randy Sklar of the Sklar Brothers fame, who are just two of the many celebrities that showed up. these guys were actually working. Randy was going to be working Saturday night, and Jason worked Friday night. And I've been on the Sklar Brothers podcast many times. You can go back and listen to them, or you could just check out their podcasts. They're amazing. They have two. One is called Dumb People Town, where they riff on stories of stupid people. The other one is called A View from the Cheap Seats, and that one is more sports-oriented, but still hilarious nonetheless. And I caught up with Jason, and we talked wrestling, comedy, and comedy wrestling.
That's so fascinating to me, that the music created a bit for you.
You appreciate that as a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, I'm back there and I'm like, obviously, when someone pulls chocolate out of the back of their pants, it's going to make the crowd go crazy. That's one type of humor. But the bit of them starting the music and you turning menacingly to the crowd over and over again, and every time, it was almost like the music got in the way of you getting into the ring and you felt obliged that you had to turn and be menacing to them. That bit made me laugh.
But the music went down, and then when I turned around, the guy in the music booth, who I don't know,
started to play it again.
He knew
to get it up again, and then you turn and face the crowd, and it was so funny, and the crowd was loving it, and I love it. If Randy was there with me, we would have been laughing at each other about it. We would have been like, that's the thing. If I was just a guy in the crowd just coming to see the show, that's the thing we'd be talking about over fries at some diner like for 2 hours tonight. How about how funny that was?
But I have just like you and Randy are comic partners, I now have a comedy partner that I don't even know what he looks like.
You gotta thank
whoever
him.
that music guy is.
Okay, so between now and tomorrow night, thank him and tell him to do it again.
Yeah.
Because it's great. It's really great. And it's great because it's in line with your character. It's in line with
my character, the character. We don't know who's under that character.
We don't know.
Right.
It's in line with that character, but it's like relevant to the match. It builds the evil of the heel. It's so good. It's so good.
Now, if anyone, and your brother's doing it tomorrow, but I think if anyone appreciates this character, it's the Sklar brothers, right? The old 1930s.
So we always joked about Mil Mascaras. Like if he ever let his stomach out, he would blow around the room, like he had it sucked in for so long that that was his default position. And those hiking the pants up really high and forcing your chest to come out so far and your stomach it's almost like Spanx. Like male Spanx.
The original Spanx?
The original Spanx, but with nothing covering it, so you're seeing the Spanx at work. And it's so funny, and it's so great, and my joke to you, of course, was those tights have more black material than Chris Rock. And then I texted that to Randy, and Randy texted back to me, I just want you to know the text chain that I had with my brother about your trunks. He said, his trunks are so black, they just got a Netflix special. His trunks are so black, they kneel down during the national anthem. His trunks are so dark, they're an Anthony Jeselnik joke. It's ridiculous and so fun and so funny.
Hold on. That's what I love about you being a real comedian. Is that was just between you and your brother?
Well, he might try one of those tomorrow night. I mean, he was trying.
But had I not asked you to be on this podcast, no one would have known
that exchange went on.
Those jokes were happening.
So Randy's in San Diego with his daughter. He wanted to be here tonight, but his daughter, we're dads first and we're comedians second, and that's just a fact. And so we were both slated to be on the show tonight to do comedy with Blaine and sort of commentate the matches, which we are born to do. This is something that, everything in our lives, professionally and personally, have led us to this moment. So we love it. And Randy was set to do it tonight, and then his daughter got into the regional competition in San Diego for gymnastics.
Which could be a cheap seats episode in itself, right?
Down regional gymnastics. Yeah. He said, the people who show up at these things, the other parents in the matching sweatsuits, he's like, I want to punch people. And I'm like, I get it. He's like, I hate everyone but my daughter and my wife. And that's where we're at when we're at these things. But he was, in it with his daughter all day. But he was texting me tonight, asking me how it's going. And then he saw, I posted some pictures on Instagram, and he's jealous and wants to be here, and he can't wait for tomorrow night.
He'll be here tomorrow.
He'll be here tomorrow night with Andy Richter and all that stuff. But this is a special show because it does blend comedy and wrestling two things that go together. Sports go together. It's your MO. It's the
But it's
mountain
also
that
your MO.
It is our MO, but to me, it's the mountain you stand on. But we say the reason why we love you, and this is the reason why we always have loved you, is that your comedy stands on its own. If you took the wrestling out of it and you just broke down the comedy bits and the tendencies and what you find funny and where your inclinations lie, it's just purely funny. It's wrestling's the backdrop and the comedy is real, and that's the highest compliment we can
You
pay.
get me. You get me.
Get you. We totally get you. I mean, that's why we love you. That's why we're enormous fans of yours.
I appreciate it. So good to see you. I'm
So
sorry you're
good
not
to
going to
see
be here all 3 nights, but we need a variety. There's only so much we can get.
I love that you're doing these interviews because on the spot, this is like a special moment. I'm high off this show.
Yeah.
The excitement of doing a show. I mean, you wrestle in front of a lot of people. You've wrestled in front of tons of people. There's 2,000 people here tonight, drunk, excited. There's burlesque dancing. It's there's a lot going on.
This is in the moment. This is slice of life right
It's
here.
very special.
It's documented.
Are there moments where when you're doing it, I'll ask you this, I'll turn it on you, where there's just a moment you're in the ring and you pull some great move or you're getting up off the mat and you're like, I can't believe I get to do this. It's pretty cool.
I wrestled in Madison Square Garden about a month ago.
Holy jeez.
And I went it was during a battle royal, I slid in the ring, and 20,000 people start chanting my name. And Jushin Thunder Liger, legendary wrestler, starts trying to throw me out, and the footage is there. He's trying to throw me out, but then I hear Colt Cabana, and I just stop everything, and I start looking around, milking it as the performer that I am, but also just being I can't, Mr. Liger, I'm sorry, I need
not
to
going
take
out
this
like
in.
this.
I need to take this in.
Of course.
Yeah.
Did he get you out?
No.
kept you in.
Yeah, of course. I stayed in as long as I possibly could.
You
Yeah.
have to. That's a huge moment. That's a huge moment.
Yeah.
I think about there's 5 or 6 comedians that have gotten to play Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it's me, Dice.
Yeah.
That was my only.
Disease.
Your favorite Dice, only because I know I love you.
To be told on your own show that you're a comedian, and I've been told it a lot, and I think of it of myself, but the Sklar Brothers are 2 of my favorites. I think they're hilarious. Watching them on Comedy Central back in the day, for them to see me as a comedian and get what I've been doing. I've been hoping for it my whole career, that if you took out the wrestling, the comedy was still there, the comedy chops, and Jason got it. Randy was just as great the next day. But we will finish off this podcast with one of the most important team members on the team. He's one of Los Luchas. He wrestles as Zocre on the California scene, but he plays one of the Crazy Chickens, the almost the mascot for Lucha Vavoom. They are so over. They are such a part of the show. And Zocre's been a part of it forever. And we sit down in the locker room and we chat about it.
Are the chickens protected?
Yeah, we could definitely say who we are now. I mean, in the beginning, it was a little different because since it was kind of separate from the actual independent industry, people weren't taking it as serious. But then as people started coming along, they saw that the wrestling was actually legit. It's just the characters were a little off the top. But yeah, so then once they started respecting it, we kind of let it out and then kind of rolled over from the people that knew us.
So the world knows that you're the chicken.
Yeah, for the though not the world. We ain't that.
Well, the wrestling world, or the SoCal wrestling.
Yeah, some of the SoCal wrestling world. Yeah.
Are you the longest tenure one here?
God, how long has this show been running now? 16 years, and we started halfways of the first year. We were ring security in the first ones, but then we actually joined the crew in probably the second or third show, I believe it was.
And were you the original chickens?
No, actually, a funny story was everybody hated being the chickens. Oh, wow. Everybody despised being the chickens. There was a revolving door with the outfits for a year and a half until, Liz and Rita asked me and my partner, Phoenix Star, if we could do it. And we said yes, but we said, you know what, this is fun because nobody knows who we are, so we act the fool. And the crowd started, accepting it. And then we ended up just doing chicken moves and more, adding more to the character. And little by little, it became one of the top characters of the company. So we were like, hey, man, we have a nice little secure spot here, so let's keep busting our ass and keep it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if people they think about the wrestlers at Vavoom, I think it's the Chickens and Cassandra, right?
Yeah, especially back in the older days. I mean, yeah, we were lucky enough to be one of the top names. And then obviously, like, you know, Dirty Sanchez, Chupacabra, then Joey Ryan started a little bit after, and his name blew up. And then the company got enough respect to, we've been getting some top names from Mexico. I mean, obviously, you're here, so that's another good name. You know, Joey Ryan, TJ Perkins, Scorpio Sky. I mean, it's not just that little company that people used to like make fun of and used to say that it was mostly just for that certain crowd that's not intelligent. Now it seems to be like, you know, if you're a fan, you're going to enjoy it. If you're not a fan, you're going to enjoy it. So
Did it get bashed a little bit?
yeah, in the very beginning, yeah, everyone in Mexico kept talking, you know, because we're wearing masks. So, you know, in Mexico it wasn't respected. In the States, everybody would be like, you're a chicken? Like, what are you doing in a chicken outfit, man? Like, you guys wrestle good, so why would you down yourself?
You need to go wrestle in front of 50 people at Barton's Son or whatever it's called.
Exactly. So, you know, we figured, you know, I mean, it's a payday, and we worked our ass off to be able to deserve something like this, you know, so why trash it or why not take that opportunity?
And where are the cool places that this is taking you?
I mean,
know it's taken me a couple cool places also.
Yeah, I mean, like together we've been to New Orleans and stuff. I know within the United States, but also we've been to Japan. We did like a 5-city tour in Europe. I think about 12 years ago. We did a bunch of music festivals here. Australia, we did like a huge tour with Big Day Out, I believe it was. And I mean, so yeah, we've been lucky enough to, you know, take advantage of these opportunities.
And how was tonight? I guess Cinco de Mayo. Are the Cinco de Mayo shows? I guess they're all special, right? Because there's only like 4 sections a year. I don't know if these are more special because obviously the lucha theme. But
it became something big now because they bring the folklorico, they bring the mariachis, they bring danzantes, which is they center it around the culture, you know, the Mexican culture. Even though Cinco de Mayo is not necessarily the real Independence Day, but it's celebrated here in the United States in that way. So they took advantage, and this is the 10th year now. So it went, you know, it went good.
Altogether, just an amazing, fun weekend of professional wrestling. No real critics, just having fun. Some other highlights of the shows for me. Before the actual show, we get picked up in like 1950s cars. And the cars pick us up in the back. Here's a spoiler. I'm ruining the magic. They pick us up in the back, and then we drive around, and it looks like we're getting dropped off in the front. And that's always a very, very cool part of the show. Also, I got to do commentary. On the last night, Matt Classic was part of the first match. There were 2 other matches, and so I, Colt Cabana, went up on stage with the great Blaine Capatch of, Beat the Geeks fame, maybe Mr. Show era. He's written on basically everything. Along with Blaine, I joined Jeff Davis from Whose Line Is It Anyways, and I was on stage cracking jokes. Cracking wise, I felt I held my own, and it was just a warm-up for when I will be in Edinburgh, Scotland, doing the Festival Fringe all of August, along with John Hastings. But that doesn't belong here. That belongs in the plugs and
upcoming events.
All right, the best way that you can support ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, Twitter and Instagram at Colt Cabana, Facebook /Colt Cabana, my storytelling podcast, Pro Wrestling Fringe, plus past archives of this show, old and new, are ad-free on StitcherPremium.com /Colt. Use the code Colt, get a free month. ColtWrestling@gmail.com is my very public email. Maybe you're a promoter, want to put me in your upcoming show or convention. I also have a YouTube channel. I also have a website, ColtCabana.com. That's where you can find my P.O. box and send me something fun. Upcoming Thursday through Sunday, May 9th, 11th, and 12th, Toronto, Grand Rapids, Chicago, ROHWrestling.com. Saturday and Sunday, May 18th and 19th, Walpershofen, Germany, Facebook Forever Wrestling. Memorial Day weekend, Las Vegas, Nevada, Starcast.com. I'll be doing a live Art of Wrestling Friday night after the Ric Flair roast. Friday, May 31st, San Antonio, Texas, RiverCityWrestling.net. Saturday and Sunday, June 1st and 2nd, Seattle and Portland, ROHWrestling.com. Wednesday, June 5th, St. Paul, Minnesota, in a Jewish temple, Facebook First Wrestling. Friday, June 7th, Denver, Colorado, LuchaLibreLast.com. Friday and Saturday, June 14th and 15th, Cleveland, Ohio, AIWrestling.com. Wednesday, June 19th, Worcester, Mass, BeyondWrestlingOnline.com. Thursday, June 20th, Brooklyn, New York, WrestlingOutlaws.net. Saturday, June 22nd, New Orleans, Louisiana, WildcatWrestling.com. Intro music by the Ukulele Teacher on YouTube. Outro music by Superfun Yeah Yeah Rocket Ship. Podcast cover art and design by Jimmy Lee. Photo by James Musselwhite. Thanks to Little Cholo, Dirty Sanchez, Miss Rita DeAlbert, The Crazy Chicken, Zocre, Octagoncito, and Jason Sklar for coming on the show. Let's thank our sponsors, HighSpots.com and the High Spots Network, an amazing VOD service with a brand new $5 wrestlings, PWGs, Egos Amigos, AMA knee pads, gear, masks, even a wrestling ring. OneHourTees.com, they help run ProWrestlingTees.com. I got some shirts on there. Just go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Colt Cabana. What a fun weekend. And guess what? By the time you hear this, I have already been back on the road, going after it because I want it. Also, I had a birthday, and I'm a year older. I'm still in my 30s. I could say that, so that's pretty good. Don't know how much longer I can say that. Actually, I do know exactly how much longer I can say it, and I wish not to think about it. This has been The Art of Wrestling. For Colt Cabana, I'm Colt Cabana. Thanks.